There he is. Big Daddy. The beast. The brute. And he's so sexy to mama. Look at those little, basically whiskers, catfish like whiskers on his nose. He's huge with those whiskers. This is a Bristlenose Pleco or plecostomus. He is super red color, the kind of extra red, and he is a long fin. Look at the length of that fin. Normally, if they're a short fin, the fin is only as long as it is high. This guy's a long fin. You can see all of that. I'm going to pick him up in a moment so you can see some more details about him. There he is, this sexy beast. Now, he is my breeding male, definitely an adult, very adult. I'll show you the size of him in a minute. He's looking at us. He's used to me pretty much now. He's still kind of skittish. It's the female that, it's kind of the opposite with him. He's a lot more skittish. The female is the bold one. She comes out all the time. I've already got a video out of them eating and interacting. But, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you another view of him and describe more about some of his features. His skin is very rough. It's like sandpaper, and I don't know how well you can see it, but he actually has, like, they call them armored catfish because they have like little armored platings under their skin. That makes it tougher for things to bite them. Alright, so next I'm going to show you his gill flaps. Okay, here's a close-up of the brute. Notice these little, where his gills would be, the little spiky protrusions. Those are definitely spiky, and you will want to avoid them. Now, one thing, these fish do have the ability to breathe air if they're out of water, or if they're in areas where there's not much oxygen in the water. They can actually gulp air from now and then to supplement their oxygen. I'm going to turn him over a little bit while I have him. See the gill flaps there, see his whiskers in the front. Now you notice you don't see those bristles on his nose. Those are little soft things, and it looks like they're lighter than water, so they'll float up when I put them back in the water. There's his gill flaps. You can see on the shadow there, they're kind of they're definitely sharp enough to penetrate skin, but only a little bit, but enough for you to notice him, enough for you to say stay away, for you to want to stay away. Again, they live in the Amazon, and they actually dig holes in mud there. Here we see, we're going to be seeing the Plecos, especially the male this time, in the aquarium. Watch them eating and interacting. So what I feed them are algae wafers from Hikari. No pay, I don't get any pay for that. And for the young ones growing up, I feed them the algae wafers and green beans, but the adults do not like the algae wafers. Now, this guy is kind of shy. It's not like what is described a lot of times, that the males come out and the females will do the hiding. She comes out and then he does the hiding until he sees that she is safe. So here he comes. He's checking it out. He is about 5 inches long. You can see the whiskers on the bristles on the front of his nose. That's why he's called a bristlenose catfish. This is a super red, long-finned bristlenose plecostomus, or Pleco for short. They are very popular fish. They are really awesome algae eaters. With these two, I have them in a 20-gallon tank. I never have to clean the algae off my glass. See, he's moving one step at a time, very, very slowly, while the cherry shrimp are just doing their thing. Now their skin is kind of rough, a little bit like very fine sandpaper. And here now he's coming out. I've left him alone for a while, so he's coming out to eat. And on their backs, they have really, underneath the skin, they call it armor. It's really tough plates and stuff there. These are called armored catfish. That's a species of armored catfish. On their gill flaps, they have spikes. I showed you the spikes earlier. They are sharper than what they might appear. You would definitely notice it when you pick him up, and you would definitely learn to be careful and avoid those spikes. It's like a little pin pricking you. So it's not big, you're not going to bleed. You will notice it. Here we go. And there we go. So they're interacting there with the female when she comes back out. Next time she gets on the glass, you can see that it looks like she's full of eggs. She is full of eggs. What I do to get them ready to spawn is I feed them black worms. They each get a small cube of black worms. They love them. Aha. Here they come. So what's going on here is she is more of the braver one, but he does, when he's decided it's safe and he wants to eat, he does run her off a little bit. But she doesn't totally leave. She is very courageous. Really, it doesn't, courageous isn't it, but she's just stubborn, and she'll hang around a little bit. We'll see that later. I don't do anything fancy for these fish other than the food. Normal water temperature. I don't have a heater in my water, so it's room temperature. I change the water at least once a week, probably a little bit more than that, because I'm trying to get these cherry shrimp you see in there to also reproduce. And they're doing awesome with that. While we're looking at this, you'll see in the background that grid-like thing. That's what I use to grow my Java moss on. That's good, they're interacting. And you'll see these little rings in the background too. That's what I use to grow algae on. I think algae is great fish food. It's great for fry. I put them in with all of my fry that's going out because they'll provide algae for them to nibble on, plus the other little organisms that eat the algae. A lot of the fry will eat that as well. Another food that the Plecos like is newly hatched brine shrimp. Oh, see, here she comes. See, she's out here. Big Daddy's not here yet. And there you can see her underside. And yeah, she's starting to look a little fattish. That's eggs filling her up. I breed them about once a month. I keep they breed in a cave. I use a plant watering spike, a ceramic plant watering spike. I keep that out, and then when I'm ready for them to breed, I will put that in there, and they usually are done spawning within 24 hours, and they spend almost that whole day spawning and doing their thing. She goes in there several times to lay eggs. One of my upcoming videos is going to be on the spawning, because I do that spawning around the first of the month, so I can easily keep track of it. So that, by the way, he's sitting on one of the algae wafers. In fact, I have two in there. He's sitting on both of them. You can see the bristles sticking out the front of his nose, and you can see the little region where on his gill flaps where the gill spikes would stick out if he decides to. He can do that at will, so they have muscles in there to extend them. This is a long fin, so you see how long the fins are. When they're young, the way I can differentiate between the two is the length of the tail is, for a long fin, is twice as long as the height. Takes about a year for them to get to sexual maturity, or about 3 inches. And basically they start to get sexually mature when you can start to see the whiskers on the males. The females don't have the whiskers. And a friend of mine's, he raises the bristlenose also, and he says that if he doesn't see any whiskers, he considers it a female unless proven otherwise. Okay, now he's chomping down, or getting ready to. Let's look at him. See his mouth? That's gristle, very, very hard gristle that he uses to scrape the algae off of surfaces. Particularly, they love flat surfaces like glass. But they can also use that to hang on to things. In fact, sometimes when I catch them and the babies, and I'll put them in my hand for a moment to transport them, or even in a net, they'll hang on to the net or my hand with their mouths. Not biting, they're just hanging on with the suction they have. So many more videos planned in the future. I'm going to have a video on these guys spawning and then caring, and then the male will actually care for their young. So I'll have not much happens in we can see too much. He goes inside the cave and stays in with the eggs, and he's fanning them all day long, so it's circulating water. He doesn't do much else. In fact, that's why I only spawn them once a month when they could probably do it every other week, because he spends that whole week, he doesn't eat, doesn't sleep. Pardon me, I'm okay. It's funny how you don't get that tickle till you start talking. Here she comes. See? She's not that skittish. Now, she is the short fin super red. I know they don't look that red, but they're reddish. And there you can see her mouth parts, and you'll get to see again her stomach, abdomen, where if you look close it looks kind of whitish and lumpy. That would be the eggs. It really is amazing how slender she looks when they're done spawning compared to this. They are both very experienced spawners. They know what they're doing. Daddy is very good with taking care of the babies. What I do though, these guys are hard to catch. They are fast. They will zip around faster than about anything I've had. Anything else. I've had guppies. I've got neon tetras. These guys seem like even though they just attach themselves to stuff all day, they don't swim. It's amazing how fast they move. So I don't like spending when they spawn, they produce, depending on how old they are, anywhere from 50 to 150 eggs, depending on how old they are, how long it's been since the last spawn, how well you've been feeding them. Even trying to catch 50 of these eggs in a community tank like this, you're going to spend a couple days at it. So what I do is I take the spawning cave out. It's easy to do. It's that watering spike. I take it out, and he's in it. He will not come out. I can't shake him out. He's too big. He jams his fins in there. So I take him and the eggs in the cave, put them in a small tub, air stone, a couple of cherry shrimp coals to help clean things. Leave them in for 5 days. After 4 to 5 days, they'll start hatching. I'll shake the spawn out, and then I'll have them in the tub. I'll raise the spawn at that point. He hatches the eggs. They are very friendly community fish. They leave all the other fish alone. Well, to a large extent, they leave the other fish alone unless they're eating their food. They will push them out of the way. The same thing with the cherry shrimp. Many times I've seen the cherry shrimp riding on them. and cleaning the backs and things like that. This is an awesome, awesome, awesome fish to have in the aquarium. And they look good, and they're really interesting to look at with the bristle noses, and they will interact with each other. Oh, there you can see her hanging. There she is. See, she's around checking it out again. He's not. I'm not there. I just had the camera up there next to the aquarium, and I'm far, far away. What I've done sometimes with the spawning is I will cover the front of the aquarium with cardboard so I don't disturb him or her while they're spawning. Try to leave them alone. Since he is so skittish, she wouldn't care. And that's how they eat. See, they have the gristle on for their lips that they use instead of teeth. Really pretty fish too, and they have personalities, definitely. Especially her. She comes out. She knows when I'm around, and of course she's coming out to see if I have any food to give her. Okay, that is it for this time. I'm going to see you in our next video. I've got several possibilities. We'll see what happens. I've got some where I might need to get ready. I have to get ready for a fish show where I swap meet in about 3 weeks. So I've got to start getting ready for that. You're going to see my preparations there. I can also do one on how I managed to do this, and I have like 5-6 different species that I breed for sale, and how I managed to do this in a 1-bedroom apartment. I definitely utilize, each tank has several different things in it. So I'm going to be getting ready for them, for the swap meet. Let me know in the comments below what you would like, what you find, what kind of questions do you have about raising fish. I definitely, don't raise all the different kinds of fish, but I can definitely answer a lot of questions. I have cories, I have neocaridina shrimp. They are yellow, red, and blue. I have assassin snails. So each one of these I'll have feature videos on them as time goes by. So definitely please leave a comment, like the video if you find it interesting, and subscribe if you want to see more. I will definitely be having more. Let me know what you want and how I can best serve you. Thank you for watching. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.